Dude, you have one of the coolest names. I don't have a name like that has that ring. Antonio Boni. Mine's like Clarence Devins. It doesn't have the same vibe to it, does it?
Yeah, but you know what's crazy though? Your name's Clarence, and when people hear Clarence, they'll be like, "Who's this frail fuck?" And then you roll up, you know. Excuse me, is there a problem? No, because you literally roll up, you do slow motion to be like, "Is there a problem?" And if they have a problem, they'll be like, wait a minute."
I don't run into many people with my name that I'm not related to, for sure.
Jesus.
So, dude, I want to talk about your podcast. I want to talk about comedy. I want to talk about everything you've been up to over the last 6 months. But I want to talk about, we met, 4 years ago? You were 18, right?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Yeah, I was 18.
18.
I was 18.
You came because I'm a personal trainer, and you came to work out.
Yeah.
And we worked out. What was that like?
You know, I mean, my mom needed me to. Hold on, let me bring it in here. Jesus. My mom wanted me to. She was like, "Listen, if you're not gonna be at school, like, it's 2016, like, it's about how many months after my father's passing, right?"
Yeah. What was your dad's name?
Felipe.
I knew that.
Yeah,
I did know that.
Yeah, my brother, he gave him my brother's name. My brother's actually a junior, but nobody calls him junior,
right?
Because that'd be weird.
Okay,
I guess. No, but and I left school because I couldn't take it. I got a 32 on the test, bro. I was a B student in high school, so I'm like, I'm used to getting 80s and whatnot. And then I get a 32 on the test. I said, wait a minute, that was a shot to my ego. That, and amongst everything else, man, I left, and she was like, listen, you ain't just gonna come home after work and do nothing. Right. You ain't gonna go to school. You gotta do something.
Yeah.
And so she was like, you gotta work out. And I'm 18, so she wanted me to jump on her Tigger's membership. I was like, all right. And when what was it? I didn't even get a full membership immediately because
you weren't hers, right? Because everybody's free till they're 19. Yeah.
Right. And she didn't want me going in with no direction. You know what I'm saying? She wanted me to, if you're gonna go in, you're gonna go in. Yeah. And that's when she asked me what I wanted. And I was like, you know what? I was literally, I told her, she was like, you're going to get a personal trainer. I was like, what? She was like, you're going to get a personal trainer and just pick the one you want. And I was like, okay, well, I don't want no skinny people. And like literally 95% of the personal trainers were skinny people except for you.
Yes.
And I was like, you know what? No disrespect to everybody else, Ron and Erica and Becky, it's just like, I'm gonna go with the fat guy.
Yes, right.
I'm gonna go with the fat guy because it's like it makes sense, you know. So
that's right.
He's gonna get me.
Yes.
And we clicked, and our first phone call went. It was awkward, of course.
Right.
But then we met in person, and everything snowballed.
Yeah, yeah. When I remember, I got you on an elliptical, right? Because and we can get into this. Working out is for everybody, right? It's for everybody. Fat guys, not fat guys, everybody, and got you on an elliptical, and I'm talking to you, and I'm trying to do the whole rapport building thing, and I said something about movies or something or whatever I said, and you looked at me with like this look of, this guy's trying to do rapport building with me. You saw through my, I won't say scam, because it's an important part of what I do, but you saw through, you knew exactly what I was doing, and I'm like, man, this is a smart guy. This is a smart guy, kid at that point, and you totally saw through what I was trying to do. But we became really good friends over a couple of years. Yeah. My favorite day with you on the floor in the gym was probably towards the end when we stopped lifting as like client trainee and started lifting together as friends, and you walked into the cage and you were warming up, and there's this guy and this girl next to you, right? And they're doing their thing, and you're slapping plates on, and then you put that fourth plate on. And for people who don't know, the fourth plate, that means 4 plates on each side. That's 405 pounds. And then you slapped like another 15 on each side. So you pull that thing out of the rack, and you're squatting, And obviously you're focused, right? Because that's a lot of weight.
Yeah, no, you're gonna die. If
You're gonna die.
You can lose a lung, in all honesty. Like,
and their jaws are on the ground, and you're totally oblivious to it. And you rack this thing, and you're like, what?
Now hold on, this was a white dude with blonde hair, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Because I've seen him around. He like me and him talked a few times.
Yeah,
but it's like, I think I remember who exactly you're talking about. Brunette girl.
Yeah. Probably.
Exactly.
Yep.
I think they go to Vassar, maybe.
Man, when people put that ton of weight on the bar, people in the room stop and watch. And I've seen it for years. I've seen it when I started lifting in college. I've seen it at gyms that I've been into, gyms I've worked in. When people put that kind of weight on the bar, the world just stops, because it is rare for someone to do it. And the level of discipline and concentration and focus, because you're right, you get underneath a bar like that and you're gonna die if you screw it up. You're gonna blow a knee, or it can be dangerous. It's dangerous. It's like rock climbing or something. There's risk involved.
I'd rather lift that than rock climbing. Nah, man, these dudes go to Godzilla heights. I'm like, nah, man,
it's scary stuff.
Yeah,
it's scary stuff. Yeah. So, and the biggest thing I loved about what you started doing is you started hitting that elliptical every single time. Like, it didn't matter. That's what you did. And you built up a cardiovascular system regardless of what you weigh. You built up a cardiovascular system and a strength level that made you a fit individual, despite what people think of as fit and not fit. So that I was impressed by that. You did really well with that stuff.
Well, let me tell you. I mean, I really don't think you give yourself enough credit when you talk to me, dog, because you were the one that formed my discipline. Because you remember when we first started doing this, bro, I was coming late every damn every time. Like, it'd be 20 minutes sometimes.
Yep.
I'm a kid. I don't care. Like, I was late coming to this, in all honesty. So COVID did nothing for me.
I factored in the fact that you're going to be late, so actually you were on time.
4
years, man. I know you're pretty good.
I was angry at myself today, but I woke up at 3 because I had to take a friend to work earlier, and I went to sleep. I didn't wake up till 3, and that's no excuse. But anyway, honestly, no excuse. I'm a grown man, so but yeah, bro, and then you sat me down one time and you was like, "The fuck's going on?" Oh, we can curse here, right?
Keep it in moderation, but yeah,
got you, my fault, man. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah, like, what's going on, man? And why you always late? And then I said, I don't even remember what I said, but I know it was some nonsense, because that's how I roll. But and then you said, yo, man, if you're not gonna commit, then what are you doing?
Yeah. And
I was like, you know what, I got you, my fault. And then it stopped. I mean, it got way better after that.
Yes, it did.
I started popping up early, and like, even when I was on time, I was like, yo, listen, I gotta go to the bathroom right quick, and 5 minutes,
right,
you know, but we still got down there.
Yeah.
And then you were working me, helping me on the elliptical and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like, bro, I didn't max out the elliptical overnight. This was like 2-3 years.
Yeah, it took a while. It was cool to watch you build the settings up. Like, you were like, I'm going to put this thing on the heaviest level, and I'm going to roll for 15 minutes on that, which is it's no easy feat. There's a lot of people can't do that.
Yeah. You remember young Kevin, tall young Kevin?
Yes.
He said, when I told him I maxed out, he was like, dude, that's like trudging through snow.
It's like trudging through snow with a backpack on.
You know what I'm saying, bro? It's like, that's what I got to do, man. Yeah. You guys got to know nothing higher than 20 on incline and resistance.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't know what you want from me, man.
Guys who climb big mountains train like that, with that type of resistance on there.
I believe it. Would you believe me if I told you I was going to bring rocks and put them in my bag?
I believe it.
Just for the back support. Because it's like, you told me build my core first. And in all honesty, that's what helped with everything else.
Right. Be strong enough to carry around your frame.
Right.
And once you're strong enough to carry, and that's one of the places where a lot of people make mistakes. If they're heavier people, right? They make the mistake because they jump in there and they try to do a bunch of cardio, but they can't support their own frame, so it hurts.
Yeah.
So if they get in there and they really build up their strength, they can move their frame around, and now the cardio doesn't hurt and they'll do it more often. So exactly right.
I think it's like in my case, I think it was like I know I jumped the gun. I think what was it? You had me start 6. What was it, like 6 incline, 7?
That sounds about right.
7 resistance.
Yeah, it's usually where I would put somebody.
Sure. Yeah, so it was like, and then you had me double up. Basically, it was like 2 over. And I remember I was on an overtime. So I was at like 6, and then started 8, and then one time it came to 7 and 9, and I was stuck there for a minute. And funny enough, while I was stuck there, I think that's where I plateaued for a little bit, not a lot, just a little bit.
Yeah.
And then where I really plateaued was. And I think more so was fear than actual. I wasn't able to go further. I was stuck on 17 incline, 19 resistance.
Yeah.
Or maybe I'm switching it up, but either way, it was definitely
somewhere up
19.
there. Somewhere up there.
And I was stuck there for months. Like, and you would know, like I would tell you, like every 3 months, I was like, yo, man, I'm going up. And like every 3 months or so, like, yo, I'm racking up 1 point. I'm going up 1 point, man. Yeah. And eventually, they caught up to each other. Like 20 was getting to 20 when you're stuck at 19. It's like the thing doesn't go any higher. You look at that, and I'm like, well, it adds to your depression a little bit, but then it's like eventually you get there. You know what I mean?
Yes. You do get there by just showing up.
Right.
Just show up and do it. And some days are going to be better than others. Some days are going to really hurt. They're going to suck. But you push through them, and you take advantage of the good days when you get them.
Yeah.
And it rolls up.
So you know what I had to do? I think what I did was, I think I just said I was a little defiant because you didn't want me to go that high so quickly. But I said, let me punch it up to 15. Let me punch it up to 20 for like 5 minutes. I did that when you weren't looking.
Yeah.
I was like, let me just trying to be like, why are you so exhausted? I'm like, none of your business. Keep it. nah. But yeah, man. So it's just. That's how, man, you know, just little inch.
Yeah. And one of the other things I really liked about watching you go through this whole process was you developed a love for it.
Yeah.
It was no longer the scary gym, or maybe it wasn't scary, but the place that was full of people who, whether real or imagined, are kind of like looking at you, and nobody is, and you found a love for it. Another one of my favorite days, we were in the boxing room and we were doing some dumbbell, single arm dumbbell stiff-legged deadlifts.
Yeah.
And there's this dude in there, and he looks at you, and I forget exactly what he said, but he said something about, man, you've really changed, or you've come really far, or something like that. And he was right. You went from a 18-year-old kid, and then you, boom, turned into this monster. And it was amazing and awesome to watch.
I think I know what you're talking about. It's like there's like 2 dudes I'm thinking of. I can't pinpoint which one exactly, but I think it's either one of those 2 guys or somebody else entirely. Yeah. But yeah, I think, dude, I've actually been doing those stiff-legged deadlifts.
Yeah.
In my room, because COVID, no
gotta
gym.
do something.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I've been incorporating that in the little workout that I do with, like, I think it's a 35er that I got in my room.
Yeah.
I got a whole setup in my garage, bro. Like, not a whole setup. Like, I got my uncle's barbell and dumbbells, and I have not used them at all. Not at all, bro. I've been lazy. I ain't gonna lie to you. I've been lazy.
Yeah, COVID was hard, man. I mean, it took me a while to get the garage cleaned out and get the gym set up in there. And even then, on days, it was like, I just have to go do this. But, it doing that beat the heck out of sitting on the couch worrying, which I hear keeps you young. So it was something to do, even though it wasn't great.
It keeps you something.
Yep.
But honestly, like, I say it again, man, I don't think they gave you enough credit. I mean, everybody's like, dude, you really going. I'm like, bro, I had a good teacher. Like,
I appreciate that.
Nobody said nothing to you. I'm like, my man,